Well, when 5 billion people all get free phones and with no charge, our business opportunity, well, we can still be in the lending business, but when airtime is free for 5 billion people, then I'll be in heaven and everything will be great.
Well, on that happy note, I think I'm going to have to jump in. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
Thank you. Okay, Jacob Katzoff is coming up next to talk about UpChannrl.
Thank you very much. I'm actually lucky because I'm kind of going to be talking about what the market Tom just touched on. UpChannrl is going to bring blockchain to the next 2 billion smartphone owners that hit market. Before I touch on that, I want to share a memory moment. Almost 2 years ago to this date, I left my position working as director of mobile apps for PCS Wireless to launch UpChannrl. I put my house on the market. My wife was 8 months pregnant. I found myself in a place that many desperate founders find themselves, at a pitch dating event in New York City. Big scary room, 10 tables in the middle. I'm sitting there and this man comes and sits across from me. I mumble my pitch. He looks at me and he says, "Jacob, you must have sensed my anxiety." He said, "You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it." And that man was Jeff Pulver. And to think that 2 years later, our product's live in over 100 countries. I'm here talking at his event. It's just an amazing moment I wanted to share. Something else I wanted to add, maybe some of you have heard of Brock Pierce, chairman of Bitcoin. He's advocating that we change the way that we consider and look at what a billionaire is. A billionaire is not just someone who made $1 billion. A billionaire should be someone who's affected the lives of 1 billion people. Now, Jeff Pulver has already accomplished that with the Pulver Act, and UpChannrl's goal is to accomplish that through blockchain. You can go to the next slide, please. Now, what is this market that we've been talking about, this next 2 billion devices? Well, it's easy to forget, but just half the world has a smartphone. I mean, think about that. The other half of the world does not yet own a smartphone. And as that other half adopts, they're not buying an $800 iPhone, they're buying a $30 Android phone, which is being manufactured by this much lesser known tier 2, tier 3 smartphone manufacturers. So the market is made up of tier 1s. There are 10 tier 1s that make up 70% global market share. That's Apple, that's Samsung, that's Xiaomi, that's Huawei. The other 30% global market share is made up of over 1,000 manufacturers that most of us have never heard of. Now the problem that these manufacturers have is that they are antiquated. They don't have the technology of the tier 1s. They're simply a commodity business. They manufacture the phone for X dollars, they sell it for Y, that's the margin, repeat. Next slide, please. What UpChannrl does through its core platform is gives these manufacturers the technology of the tier 1s. Same tech that Verizon or Samsung or Apple is using. And with this technology, the manufacturer is able to provide mobile-first support. They're able to generate post-sale revenue. They're able to get data on their devices. They're able to compete really at the level of the tier 1s. We give this platform to them for free. You can go to the next slide, please. The way that the platform works is in 2 core parts. Part 1, there's an app that we make for our partner. It has their brand, their logo, features that they pick a la carte. The app communicates to part 2, which is the dashboard, which is used by the manufacturer to engage the customer. But I think a good way to describe how this platform works is through an example of how one of our recent partners has benefited from the platform. You can go to the next slide, please. So this partner that I'm going to share a story on is called Hyundai Mobile. And yes, Hyundai also sells phones. Now, Hyundai had a problem. The problem was that they wanted to advertise in the cities that their phones were being sold into. They wanted to put billboards up. The problem was, because the smartphone supply chain is highly fragmented, Hyundai only knew that the phones were being sold into Latin America, not which country, not which city. So we made an app for them, their brand, their logo. It's preloaded onto the device at the factory level. It's one of the first things that the customers see when they launch their Hyundai smartphone. In the smartphone, Hyundai got to pick a la carte features they wanted to include, so a digital owner manual that automatically translates into the default language of the device, wherever it activates. A marketplace, so the smartphone owner can find a compatible phone case. Not something easy to do when you don't have Amazon, right? Live chat support. So when I have a problem with my phone, I can't just go to an Apple store, it doesn't exist. I can now engage the app and talk to Hyundai support, solve my problem. And go to the next slide, please. Part 2 is the dashboard, which allows Hyundai to manage the entire application, provide support, see the revenue coming in, but also collect data. So Hyundai, using our dashboard, was able to identify not only specifically which country in Latin America their phones are being sold and which city, but also that 70% of their customers were perhaps millennial women. So now, not only could they put the billboards up, but they knew how to design the billboards. This is live and in market today. If you can go to the next slide, please. What we're launching by the end of the year is a blockchain component, 2 parts. One is we're going to distribute a wallet to our smartphone owners. And part 2 is we're going to create via API a marketplace for dApps and solve that chicken and egg problem that dApps are having to engage our new smartphone owners. Can you go to the next slide, please? Our vision is to tokenize the entire smartphone experience from the beginning of the life cycle to the end. When you buy a device, when you buy an accessory, when you need it repaired, when you're looking to sell it at the end of the life. And what was touched on the pitch before, also to buy minutes. Many smartphone owners don't have credit, they can't get credit cards, they have to go to the store. But to leverage blockchain to top up, the carrier prefers it because it's cheaper than credit card fees. There's no chargebacks. It's instant, and it solves many problems for the smartphone owner. So that's an example. Next slide, please. Next slide. So, I'll just continue then. Now, we've recently, and this is kind of interesting, I founded this company, brought in a team, and I'll talk about my team now. If you go to the next slide, please. So, one before, we'll actually just get back to that. So here's our traction. We've signed 6 deals, run over 1 million devices, over 100 different countries. The 100 countries just shows how diverse this entire fabricated supply chain is. And we're going to be on over 25 million devices by the end of the year. An example of how, 25 million, so the deals that we've signed now, there's a process where devices have to hit market, but also like to just give one example of what the market looks like. Pakistan has a population of 200 million people. 75% of that population has a flip phone, a dumb phone. Only 5% has a smartphone. In a few years, that number is going to reverse. Now, the leading manufacturer in Pakistan is one of our partners. So from that relationship alone, we believe we'll exceed that target goal. Please go to the next slide. Ron Williams just joined as CEO. I moved over to COO. It gave us the best chance to succeed. He founded a company called Zvex, a virtual currency company, in 2009. He exited to income, so he's been in this space quite some time. He's brought with him his co-founder from that startup and some other employees. My CTO and co-founder is a full-stack developer. You go to the next slide, please. 3-time hackathon winner. And 2 of our investors include Telecom, so IDT and PCS Wireless. We're backed by Flavio Mansi, who's a former president of Qualcomm Latin America. He's a very active advisor, senior vice president of SanDisk, and Javier, and of course, yours truly, Jeff Pulver. Go to the next slide, please. Just want to reiterate that our vision is to, like what Brock Pierce said, is to become a billionaire in equity in terms of the good that we can do by providing blockchain to the next 2 billion smartphone owners. We have the product, we have timing, we have the team. If you want to be a part of this, well, you can reach me, and thank you very much. Questions? Nope. I was going to ask you that. Yeah, that's excellent. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Hold that up. Next up, we have George Howard. Is George here? There he is.